I cannot be the only person who was unfamiliar with Jeffrey Dahmer. And, with the new series coming out, or that came out, I should say, that a lot of people are, bringing to the light and criticizing it for what appears to be how it represents the LGBTQ community is what's really bringing it to, the forefront for me. And, I've heard it in pop culture and, in text, the one song with Juicy J, she eat his heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm sure that's how it went. But after, looking into these like videos and reactions, a lot of people seem to feel that the series is representing LGBTQ people in a negative light. But I was wondering because I watched some debates on it, and a point that's brought up is we make documentaries about bad people who are black, Hispanic, different religions, different values and practices, and they say, well, what's the difference between someone who is of a different faith and someone who's of a different sexuality, so it's like they're asking why do they have to be protected from criticism as well, basically. And as I watched, I was like, that's a very interesting way to approach it. And one of the most interesting parts about the case that I saw was that one of the victims actually escaped and went to the police. And I believe the person was about 13 years old. And mind you, I believe Jeffrey Dahmer was a white, Caucasian male. And I believe the other victim was a black 13-year-old. I would have to double check that. But why would the police even return that victim to him? Like, how could they even see any relation, or how they might have even known each other? And it's very sickening because in 2017 one of the police officers were actually just went on retirement. So to think that they've been hired or were still employed even after something like that is really mind-boggling. But let's watch a quick clip where a short portion of we could say a debate about this topic, and then we'll just come back for some more feedback and start talking. Let's go. All right, so basically in this video, they're gonna talk about Jeffrey Dahmer and why people say the LGBT tag is not representing what they're looking for, basically. So let's just watch this debate. I might just stop it every now and then just to see what if points are made, and I think they're valid.
People don't count. No matter what we do, they never listen.
So you're saying that one of the victims had actually managed to escape, and two of your officers escorted him back to Dahmer's.
Wait. You just gonna let him take this baby back inside?
Ma'am, let us do our job.
Netflix has dropped the LGBTQ tag from its latest original series, which we just played the trailer of, Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, after backlash online from that tag. One Twitter user wrote, I know it's technically true, this is not the representation we're looking for. What do you think about this, Brianna?
I gotta say, Robbie, this one lost me. Look, Jeffrey Dahmer was gay, and he also had gay victims. The idea that you wouldn't want the gestalt of that story to be understood, such a crucial part of the injustice that happened here, and you see a little bit in the trailer, is that there was a kind of indifference to, solving the victims' crimes because they were in a group that was under considered in society.
I think that's a very good point she's bringing up. That's the community that was affected by Jeffrey Dahmer, and he was a part of the community. So like to put that and try to separate it from the series, I feel like wouldn't really help serve the whole picture. So I think that's a very valid point she's making.
Because they were gay and because they're predominantly black, Latino, and Asian.
Yeah, 100%, and I want to talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, I agree with you. It would be one thing if the label was like LGBTQ romance or something.
Right.
But in the same way that you would have, and they have had, right, like documentaries or films about the AIDS crisis, like about a very
About the
sad
mass
aspect of
incarceration.
LGBTQ history,
Yes.
it still gets labeled LGBTQ, Angels in America,
Right.
that one with Mark Ruffalo,
Right.
et cetera. I think
Milk.
they do.
Yeah, all of these kind of movies.
Yeah.
A lot of minority stories are not very happy.
Yeah, that's true.
America, they still get LGBTQ tags,
Yeah, and
or
among,
black tags, or Latino tags.
Among unhappy LGBTQ stories, certainly Dahmer. So Jeffrey Dahmer was a serial killer who killed and ate people, like a lot of people throughout the 70s, 80s. I think he was caught in late 80s or early 90s.
I think
And I'm sure, you know, the victims and, you know, like how, and the groups they were in were a part of why he was able to make it this far. Because I'm telling you, I'm sure if he started eating some more wealthy folks and people of different backgrounds, I'm sure they would have caught him real quick.
early 90s, yeah.
And as you alluded to, and as this trailer points out, is absolutely true. It's astonishing he was able to get away with it for so long because it was noticed that there were funny smell. Like he had severed heads in his fridge. He would drill holes into his victims and like fill them with acid. And at least once, a victim actually escaped, underage, naked, ran out of his apartment, you know, bleeding, had a hole in his head, and the neighbors, one of them there played by Niecy Nash, they're trying to help this again, and he was an underage boy as well, and the police come and they take him back. It's not funny how he gets killed. They take him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part I don't get. Like, why would they take they escorted him back to Dahmer, or Dahmer took him back? Either one, it's like, why? I don't get it. I have to watch this, like the series, to see how it's depicted. But you know, even as like a neighbor, like I don't know. This was back in the day, so I don't know if the black neighbors try to hold the kid, if the police would try to arrest them, or what would happen. But yeah, it's totally horrible. But I'll put the link down for the rest of this video if you want to watch it. We're gonna go back to discuss. So what do you guys think? Do you think putting the LGBTQ tag is you know, I guess depicting that you know, group in a negative way? Do you think it's something that should have been left out? In my view, I feel as if it has to do with whatever's going on, I think it's always appropriate, is how I would phrase it. You know, like no matter the crime, if some horrific thing happened, and you know, a certain group of people were responsible for it, I don't see why leaving it out is gonna, you know, help anything. And I think it's also part of, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like if you want to really normalize, because I know the fight in the LGBTQ community is to really normalize, you know, their community. If you want to normalize it, you know, I feel like it's something where you have to be treated like everyone else, you know, and maybe not feel like special privilege is the way I'm going to phrase it, even though I know there's a better term I want to use. You know, you wouldn't be like, oh, guys, don't treat us like how you treat if it were a documentary about a black murderer. Don't treat it if it was a documentary about like a white murderer, or like a straight male or whatever. I feel like, you know, just adding that tag to it is like, anyone who already has an opinion about, you know, a specific group of people, by adding that tag, it's not like someone who supports, I feel like the community is going to now be like, oh my gosh, these people are, you know, and start, I don't think that's going to happen. It's just whoever already might have that, you know, thought in their head, it might just, you know, serve as, you know, biased information where they're just going to use it to support whatever ideas they have. But yeah, comment down below. Did you guys know about Jeffrey Dahmer this whole time? Am I the only one just finding out? And remember, comment down below ideas for next videos, and I'll catch y'all later.